Welcome to CBS 42's presentation of Alabama's Hidden History. I'm Jack Royer.
And I'm Sherry Jackson. Back in 1969, Birmingham elected its first African-American city councilor, attorney Arthur Shores. But he began blazing a path for the history books long before then. In fact, 30 years earlier.
It was 1937, and having just finished law school out of the state, Arthur Shores was set to take the Alabama bar exam.
When he went down to take the bar, he took his typewriter. He thought he had done real well, and he did not pass the first time. Did not pass the second time. And the third time, he said he was just going to write things out and hope for the best. But this time what he did, instead of putting his paper up on top like he would normally do, when the examiner looked away, he sort of stuck his paper in the middle. And he was one of the ones who did pass the bar.
After passing the bar, Shores was the only black practicing attorney in Alabama. He quickly set about making a name for himself. One early case was about police brutality. A black man alleged that white police officers had beaten him while he was in jail.
And when he got out, the black client decided that he was going to sue. Well, my father took the case to court, all white jury. Blacks were coming around on the outside to see what the verdict was going to be. Well, my father won the case, and everybody was really surprised.
That one case put him on the map. He moved from this case to many cases involving voter registration. Shores was fighting for civil rights long before the start of the civil rights movement. When he was in the courtroom, he wasn't treated as an equal.
They wouldn't call him by his full name. They would either call him, "Boy, you can come on up now and plead your case," or they would call him Arthur, and he couldn't go where the white attorneys would be sitting. He would always have to stand behind the little gate and everything, couldn't go up. And it was different, but that didn't deter him at all because he wanted to do something and make things right.
And in the 1950s, the Shores family made this house their home. By the 1960s, the civil rights movement came blasting through their front door.
Shores was one of the attorneys involved with the integration of the University of Alabama. That, combined with the marches and the overall environment of Birmingham in the early 60s, put the family in danger.
And one day after the federal judge had approved the desegregation plans for the city schools, the next night our house was bombed. And when we got to the house, we could see that part of the garage had been blown out. All the windows had been blown out. The fence from the yard was gone.
Barbara lost her dog in the bombing, but no one in the Shores family was hurt. 2 weeks later, another bomb went off, this time on the other end of the house. The whole family was at home at the time, but again, no one seriously injured.
So after that, things went on. My father said they finally did what they wanted to do. They finally bombed the house. And that was the first time I ever heard my father curse, and he said, "Damn it, they finally did it." First time I ever heard him curse. And then in '65, when they were having the march from Selma to Montgomery, that was when they planted 4 bombs here in Birmingham. They planted one at A.G. Gaston Motel. They planted one here at our house, one at the Catholic church 1 block away, and at a local high school.
The bomb at the Shores house was discovered minutes before detonation, sparing the family from another tragedy. Barbara says what kept her father on track through everything was his faith.
I think it kept him grounded because when things would happen, I know when my dog was killed in the first bombing and everything, I came in saying how I hated everybody. And he was saying, "You can't hate, you have to let it go, it will just destroy you." And I remember at that time he went into the room and we just prayed.
Through all the threats and tragedy, Shores showed determination and helped lay the groundwork for people for years to come. If he were alive today, Barbara says her father would have continued his work.
I think he would have been right in the middle of it, trying the cases, trying to right the wrongs and everything, because that's what he did all of his life. All of his life.